this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We're looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the day's support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Monday the 26th of October. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, we're looking at the hourly candlesticks, relatively bearish start to the morning here. Going to need to see Bitcoin break through the pivot at 13,082 to support a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 13,313. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break back through to 13,300 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 13,358 to limit any upside. In the event of a breakout, should see Bitcoin test resistance at 13,500 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 13,590. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 12,805 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should stay clear of 12,800 levels. Second major support level sits at 12,574. Looking at the MACD, we had a bullish histogram before a possible bearish crosshair formation, so need to keep an eye on the MACDs there. On the EMAs, however, we are seeing the 50 fall back towards the 100 and the 200, suggestive of a bearish morning ahead. So key through the early part of the day, move through the pivot level at 13,082 to then bring the first major resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and you got support levels in play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, it's a bearish start to the morning. Going to need to see Ethereum move through the pivot at 409.08 to bring the first major resistance level sitting at 415.24 into play. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break back through to 415 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to pin Ethereum back. In the event of a breakout, could see Ethereum test resistance at 420 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 424.02. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 400.3 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should stay clear of the second major support level sitting at 394.14. Looking at the MACDs, we had a bearish cross late yesterday and a widening of the bearish histograms this morning, supportive of this early pullback, and we're seeing the 50 EMA pull back towards the 100 and the 200, suggestive of a bearish morning ahead. So failure to move back through the pivot at 409.08 to 415 levels will bring support levels into play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, tracking the broader market, bearish start here. Going to need to see Litecoin move back through the pivot at 58.47 to bring the first major resistance level at 60.39 into play. Support from the broader market is going to be needed to break out from yesterday's high, that was at 59.99. So barring extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to pin Litecoin back. In the event of a breakout, could see Litecoin test the second major resistance level at 61.9 before any pullback. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 56.96 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should stay clear of sub 55. Second major support level at 55.04 should limit any downside. Looking at the MACDs, we got a widening of the bearish histogram after yesterday's late bearish cross, supportive of this early morning pullback. Nothing conclusive yet on the EMAs, however, the 50 holding its ground on the 100 and the 200. So key through the early part of the day, move back through the pivot at 58.47 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and expect Litecoin to struggle. Moving across to Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, bucking the trend early on, positive start to the day. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP break through the pivot at 25.40 to support a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 25.66. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break out from 0.2550 levels, however. So barring extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 0.25738 to cap any upside. In the event of breakout, should see Ripple's XRP test second major resistance level at 0.2599 before any pullback. Fallback through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 0.2507 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid the second major support level at 0.2482. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bullish histogram after yesterday's late bullish cross, supportive of this early move northwards. On the EMAs, we're also seeing the beginnings of a pull away of the 50 from the 100 and the 200. So key through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot at 0.2540, break out from 0.2550 levels to bring resistance levels into play.